David, it's great to talk to you. Thanks for your time today. What are you seeing agencies look for, ask about, to make sure that they're using DevSecOps tools that are flexible and adaptable as their needs change, mission changes, the solutions that they need change, and so on?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think historically, security professionals, IT professionals, et cetera, kind of fell into some mistakes in more traditional, kind of data center environments. And what I mean by that is, I meet with customers quite frequently that tell us they have 100 plus security point tools. And while that's great, and those individual point tools do one or two things very, very well, the operational debt that you create by having all of these point tools makes it very difficult to get a consistent policy across those point tools. And the kind of traditional thought that I want to avoid vendor lock-in is really not conducive in a DevOps kind of arrangement, right? The DevOps really is just the communication between those two groups, and a lot of times they don't want to communicate to each other. So depending on where you are in your cloud journey, whether it's you're in the first phases and kind of just wanting to look and see about visibility and some other things and compliance or governance from that, or whether you're full blown cloud first kind of organization where you're performing cloud native development, utilizing security as code and policy as code, infrastructure as code, those types of things in order to deploy workloads. A platform approach, although it doesn't help you avoid the vendor lock-in, I think is much more applicable here. Or I would worry much more about not having a platform that can grow with me as I go through the journey, as opposed to vendor lock-in. So I would encourage maybe a slight, modification of the thought behavior there. And it's not really about vendor lock-in. It's about making sure that you are procuring platforms that allow you to have that consistent security and allow to grow with you over your journeys within the cloud.
What does that platform consist of, David?
Yeah. So depending on who you talk to, Gardner has some thoughts on it. You could argue that Palo Alto in general, which is who I work for, might have invented what is called the CNAPP, which is a cloud native application protection platform. Over the years, we started in 2018 building Prisma Cloud, both organically and from acquisitions. And arguably, Palo Alto was one of the first organizations or security companies out there that combined a cloud security posture management, which is that visibility, compliance, kind of capability with a cloud native workload protection platform or a cloud workload protection platform, which is CWPP, which are the two main components of that CNAPP that Gartner is classified. But that CNAPP also includes a lot of other things as far as, we talk about shifting left and shielding right. And shifting left is just introducing security within those development phases. And again, it's around trying to make sure that security isn't a barrier, that people can innovate very quickly and easily within these environments, which is the benefits of cloud native development from that perspective. So, having capability of, scanning a container image within a pipeline and setting up roadblocks so that that container, for example, wouldn't get instantiated if it had certain critical vulnerabilities or compliance issues and things like that. And then providing that information in the tools that the developers are most accustomed to using so that they don't have to go to security. They can self-service themselves. So if they see an image that they're building within their pipeline has critical vulnerabilities, well, the solution should show them that, hey, this package is out of date, it's fixed in this version. The package that you're trying to deploy has those critical vulnerabilities, bump the package and kind of go from there.
What are the tools that somebody should build on top of that flexible platform that you just described in order to achieve the end state that they're going for, which is to deliver solutions that are secure and capable?
So I think you hit on one point is making sure that you do have a North Star or that end state and what it is, right? And that would really depend on not necessarily the tools per se, which are one part of it, but arguably, as I alluded to with kind of my definition of DevOps is those that communication kind of between those two groups is equally important. And getting into that is that the people and the process kind of scenarios are in place as well, right? So, and that could be, something as, kind of advanced of interjecting security champions within your Scrum teams and development teams and things like that, that can help the developers who I would love for all of them to be experts in security, but it's just not working out that way in some ways. They have a job to do too, which is getting features and functionality out for whatever applications they're developing, and need to have a frictionless capability, but security needs to still be a part of that. So making sure that you're developing those processes, that you have a good North Star and a goaling that you want to get to, will really dictate, some of those, kind of actions or initiatives or programs that you might want to introduce in order to, get to what would be a truly cloud native, kind of deployment program.
Is there an opportunity to examine that process that you talked about and see if it's time to change the process before one thinks about transferring it into this kind of environment or automating it, any of that?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of different theories, if you will, on what good looks like and how to go about doing it. You definitely can't do this manually. It needs to be, some type of codification with it, and machines need to handle it because let's just be honest, security personnel are usually outnumbered by developers on a 30-to-1 basis. And some studies that we've looked at and that we conduct are showing that over 70% of organizations are releasing code at least once a week. There's a decent percentage that are releasing code once a day, and there's percentage that is climbing year over year that they're releasing code once a minute, or very frequent kind of capabilities beyond that. So making sure that you're looking at those things, making sure that you're comfortable with some of that automation and introducing that security within the development cycles allows you to maintain that application velocity and meet your objectives at an organization, which is very important.
David, it's great insight. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks.